My editor isn't around, and I'm not going to lie, I want to go and play ranked in the new season, so I'm going to be doing a different format today and showing you the best champions for winning solo queue in a tier list format. Sorry if it's a bit boring to look at. These are all champions that I recommend for solo queue with emphasis on platinum and lower, and not necessarily the objectively best champions in the game. Essentially what I'll be showing you is a good healthy combination of what's strong but also what's easy to play. Even though I'm not putting a primary focus on what is strong, nothing that I'll be showing you today is weak by any means. It's just that if you play something that's easy, it's a lot more reliable, a lot easier to have success on them. And remember, if your champion is not on this list, it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad, it's just that I would recommend other champions first. At the end of the day, you should play what you enjoy playing above all else, as long as it's not Soraka jungle. And feel free to ask me questions in the comments if you want as well, and I'll try to get around to replying to them. We'll start with junglers because that's what you guys are probably mostly here for. In the S tier, we have Shyvana, Evelynn, Sejuani, Jax, Xin Zhao, and Kha'Zix. And in the A tier, Jarvan, Udyr, Warwick, Rammus, Skarner, and Amumu. All of the S tier champions here are easy to play outside of Kha'Zix and Evelynn. But the reason why those two are in here is because they're just so gosh darn diddly bonkers that they deserve to be in that S tier. Sejuani is your go-to tank champion. Jax and Xin are your well-rounded fighting gankers. And Kha'Zix and Eve are the best assassins. And Shyvana is kinda just Shyvana. The A tier options are all ridiculously easy to play to a decent level. They mostly have very few mechanical requirements, and they're also pretty bloody tanky. Skarner is a unique one here that I should mention because he's been a champion that I reckon most people have forgotten even exists in recent times. But Skarner has received recent buffs, and because he was actually already a little bit underrated with the new runes, I think he's not going to be too bad. And the fact that this is a video showing easy champions that are pretty strong, I think Skarner is actually going to be a really good choice for you to pick up in Season 8, because no one's going to be playing him. He's ridiculously easy, and he's still pretty bloody strong. Another person that I want to highlight for this A tier is Jarvan. Jarvan can be a little bit tricky. He's a bit harder to play than the other ones in this list, but he is pretty strong in general, so that's why he deserves to be here in my opinion. Next up, top lane. In the S tier, we have Nasus, Teemo, Jax, and Malphite. And in the A tier, Kled, Shen, Alawi, Singed, Gangplank, Maokai, Ornn, Jace, Vlad, and Camille. This was probably the most difficult tier list for me to draft, and therefore there will no doubt be lots of controversy surrounding this one. This one is definitely the best showcase of recommending simple things over objectively strong things. For example, if you're good at them, people like Gangplank, Alawi, Jace, Vlad, Camille are all top tier champions. Gangplank specifically is arguably the best top laner in the whole game right now. The thing is, they're just not that simple to play, so I definitely say that if you want to put the effort in and you trust yourself to be good enough to make them work, then you should. But if you want to play something simpler, then the S tier here is predominantly very easy while also being effective champions. Nasus with Kleptomancy and Coin is a really good sit back and farm and carry style champion. Malphite is obviously your go-to tank. Jax is a pretty simple bruiser, and Teemo is a lane bully. Let's move on from one solo lane to the other now. In mid lane, S tier, we have Malzahar, Annie, Veigar, and Zoe. In the A tier, Katarina, Karma, Morgana, and Twisted Fate. You'll probably never get your hands on Zoe, but if you can, she's definitely worth playing. I think she's been out long enough now that I don't really need to explain further, but yeah, she's really busted and she's really good even when you're not fed. And the thing with Zoe as well is that on paper you might think that she's quite a high skill cap champion, but I also think that she's actually pretty effective even when you're not that great on her. Like, there's a few things in her kit that limit the amount of punishment you'll face playing her, so probably not a champion for those into BDSM. Sometimes you're actually even rewarded for making mistakes. For example, if you miss your E, that's actually pretty good still. And of course, we don't even need to mention about the stuff you can get from your W. But anyway, moving on from Zoe, we have Malzahar, Annie, and Veigar. And these are all really easy champions to play, which is perfect for this video. And Malzahar, honestly, is arguably the strongest mid laner around, regardless of your elo as well. In the A tier, I tried to keep this one a bit more trimmed down because I know that I mentioned like 10,000 champions in the A tier for top lane. But we've got a nice mix of playstyles here, so you can take what you think suits you best, what you enjoy doing. Karma, Morgana are the great supporty mid champions. Katarina is the best assassin and snowbally champion on this whole entire list, really. If you're good on her, she's easily an S tier solo queue champion in my opinion. But that emphasis is really on being good on her, and she's a little bit tricky to play. Twisted Fate has simple mechanics, but he needs a bit higher level of game knowledge and map awareness to not only avoid getting ganked and being put behind in the lane phase, but also to get good roams off in order to be effective. Next up is everybody's favorite whinge bags, the AD carries. In the S tier, we have Vayne, and just Vayne. In the A tier, Ez, Kog'Maw, Tristana, Misfortune, and Xayah. This is the only role where I have one champion in the S tier. Vayne is ridiculous right now. Incredibly ridiculous, like out of this world. Not only does she boast the highest win rate out of any champion in the entire game, but she does so while being so far apart from the second best AD carry. The meta right now with the Targons and the overheal, it takes away the risky lane phase and propels you straight into the I'm going to right click and carry section of the game. You may be a bit confused as to why she's in the S tier when I have heavily emphasized ease of play in this tier list. And whereas Vayne is known for those sexy montage 1000 APM outplays, you know, the stuff that screams, I'm gonna nick your cookies and fuck your wife. And yeah, you know, you do need some mechanics to be able to pull that kind of stuff off. But just to be able to play her to a level where she's really bloody strong, honestly, it's actually really easy right now in this meta. Outside of Vayne, there are a handful of good choices like I listed here. Kog'Maw is in a similar-ish position to Vayne in my opinion, but I'd only really recommend him if you have a good protecting support, you know, like Lulu, Janna, Karma, Nami, that kind of thing. Misfortune has been nerfed fairly hard, so she's a bit objectively weaker nowadays, but she's still ridiculously easy to play, and she can still bully lanes quite hard. And Xayah and Tristana are your solid, stable, well-rounded, safe AD carries. You know, you can play aggressive in the lane phase if you want to, or you can sit back and farm, you can snowball games, but you can also just stall it out and play for late game. Just a nice balance of being able to do everything. And our last role for our tier list today, the support role. In the S tier, we have Taric, Leona, Janna, and Blitzcrank. And in the A tier, Alistar, Lulu, Tahm Kench, Shen, Sion, Nami, Soraka, and Brand. Most of the best supports right now in the meta are the proactive fighting supports. And this is a really good thing actually, because it means that you can have a more direct impact on games. You know, you land a good grab with Blitzcrank, you hard initiate and catch people with Leona, you smother team fights with Taric. At least from my perspective, I'd rather be in a position where I felt like I could have more of that direct, yo, I'm going to carry this game because I am the support with a large penis. The Ardent meta didn't really allow you to do that, but still, we do have Janna in this S tier. She is the exception to those kind of playmaking, direct carry supports, but the reason why she's here, in my opinion, is just because she's so crazy easy to play, and she matches well with the good, strong AD carries like the Vaynes and the Kog'Maws. Outside the S tier, though, you have a very large mix of playstyles to choose from. The protection supports, the tank supports, the catch supports. It's really just up to you and how you like playing. Definitely want to give a special shout out though to Brand. He's a really good, I'm a carry but I'm not really a carry support too. This is a geezer who can deal massive damage while still being in that support role. Those kind of champions are really good if you get off-rolled or maybe you're like tilted or something and you just want to blow stuff up. He does have a few skill shots, but overall he's really not too difficult to play. Shen as well has the unique benefit from a support perspective of being able to hard counter auto attack based champions, and obviously if you play him in that support role down bot lane, then you will win most trades being able to block auto attacks. But on top of that as well, he has very good influence over the entire map with his global ultimate. Anyway, that's all I've got for you for today's video. If you want to main a new champion in Season 8, then choose anything from what I've mentioned today, and you should be pretty well off. Like I said at the beginning, there are a crap ton of champions that I haven't mentioned today that are still really solid choices, so don't feel discouraged if your homie was not on this list. You should feel bad though if your waifu wasn't on this list, because if you have a waifu then that means you are weeb anime trash. And as we all know, anime is a sin, so you deserve to feel bad. But that just about does it for me, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to go follow me on Twitter and on Twitch. I'll be streaming loads of ranked in the new season. Those links are in the description, guys. Most importantly, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you in my next good luck in your placements video.